and welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, for what is an action-packed video, because on the one hand, we've got so much transfer news that we've got to discuss right here today. Lots going on right now on the transfer front, but at the same time, we're not forgetting our game on Wednesday. Barça will be travelling to Rayo Vallecano, and coming up today, we're going to be discussing all of the latest team news. That is all on the way. Lots to talk about. So let's do it. Because if we do indeed kick off here by talking about Marcos Alonso, because actually Barca met with his agent on Monday afternoon there, as was revealed by Gerard Romero, and he says that in that meeting, a number of offers for Marcos Alonso to leave the club were discussed between the two parties there. Barca bringing those offers to the table, understanding the stance there, I assume, of Alonso as to whether he would be open to listening to them this summer. I think the feeling is right now from the club is that Alonso this season has played mostly as a backup centre-back for most of the season there, providing cover when we needed it in that area. But of course, Barca this summer, they've already agreed to sign Inigo Martinez. He's going to be coming in as that centre-back option to provide real quality depth, and that for me is a massive, massive upgrade in that area. And Barca now may feel that they don't need Alonso anymore. But it should be noted there that Romero did stress it doesn't mean he's definitely going to leave, because obviously he only renewed his contract recently. Barca there, I think, didn't want to lose him on a free, but we don't know what Alonso wants to do, whether he wants to stick it out at Barca, still trying to get minutes here and there, or whether he would be open to leaving the club. That remains to be seen, but Barca clearly are considering the offers. Then, though, we do move on to talk about this Ferran Carrasco situation. Big story emerging today in the Catalan media after a report came out there from Ashraf Benayad, who is often a reliable source in the media, and he says very boldly, Barca want to do a swap deal with Atlético Madrid. They want to swap Ferran Torres for Yannick Carrasco. Now, we know for a fact that Xavi is a huge admirer of Carrasco. The club there secured a buy option on him. But now are we at the point where we're thinking of swapping Ferran to get Carrasco the other way? Now, at this stage, guys, we have to stress we don't have all of the details. Are we talking here simply about a straight swap? We give them Ferran, we get Carrasco in return. Or would there be extra money added to the deal? Would Atlético Madrid have to add something onto that in order to get the deal done? You'd think surely they would have to, because I think for a straight swap deal, which is the one that's kind of being rumoured right now, that's the suggestion maybe that it could be, I just don't see that it makes any sense. On the side of Barca, you look at the deal here, Ferran, 23 years old, Carrasco, 29 years old. Now, many people will say, well, Ferran, though, has had a difficult season. He's not playing well. He's not confident right now. Barca want to get rid of him. But then also, actually, you ask Atletico Madrid fans about Carrasco this season, he's not been great either. It's not as though here we're swapping Ferran for a world beater. These are two players at different points in their careers, and quite clearly, we have the more valuable commodity. But I just think what we have to do right here, not just this deal, but all of the transfer windows to come, can we stop doing Atletico Madrid favours? It seems as though Barca, whenever they deal with Atletico, we give them a great deal. We are always willing to give them a favour. It's almost like we're a charity here, offering Atletico Madrid the best possible deals. And you think about what they were doing during the Griezmann situation there, when the deal was on the table that he had to play a certain amount of minutes, certain amount of games, and they were all too happy there to really play on that and actually leave him on the bench. Really tried to hurt Barca in that deal. They didn't care about us. So I think in this deal right here, yes, Ferran is a player that has been rumoured maybe on his way out this summer, but he's also a player that not too long ago we spent huge money on. And I'm talking huge money indeed. You can't just go now and give him away. The first offer that comes your way, you just swap him out. We've got to look at this constructively, we've got to be patient in the market, and we shouldn't be lurching in to any crazy swap deals. Then though, we do move on to Lionel Messi, who of course we spoke about yesterday in a lot of detail there about his return to the city of Barcelona, and we said then that it felt more permanent. It felt very different from his usual returns to the city from Paris, and I think we've now continued to see that every day since, because just yesterday he was actually spotted there out cycling in the city, and he was just casually out and about there going for a ride, and he looks very much at home here, doesn't he? He looks as though he's very comfortable in the city, and that's because he is. Not only he, but also his family. This is where they want to be, and that is why they are pushing very much for this move this summer. And just to add to that right now, Gerard Romero was out and about in the city yesterday. He's got sources, of course, all over the city of Barcelona, and he confirmed there that Messi did have a meal in Barcelona with Sergio Busquets, with Jordi Alba, and with Pepe Costa as well. Messi's right-hand man, of course. And now we don't know what was discussed in that meal. You know, I'm sure lots of things came up. They are very good friends, even away from the football field. But it's interesting that right now, both Busquets and Alba, they're kind of deciding on their future, aren't they? Whether they're going to remain at Barca. There's been lots of talk about their contracts. Could they get reduced to help Messi's return? Both of those players there in attendance at the meal. And I did think it was funny, actually, when Xavi was asked about that meal today in his press conference, you know, about Messi meeting with Busquets, meeting with Alba, what could have been said during that meal? And Xavi actually joked there. I assume it was a joke. He said, oh, well, after they'd actually finished their main meal, I was there with them. I went in for some dessert, but they didn't tell me anything. So Xavi right now, he's enjoying the situation, although he did very much stress that still, it's not the time to talk about Messi yet. He admitted again they have a very good, very close relationship, but now his focus is only on the Rayo game, because indeed Barca will be travelling to Vallecas on Wednesday night there to face Rayo Vallecano away in La Liga. And Rayo have had a really solid season. They are currently occupying 9th place in La Liga, and they have been very, very strong indeed. And don't forget, this right here is the reverse fixture of the very first game of the new season. We met Rayo there at the Camp Nou, and we couldn't find our way through. That game ended goalless. It was incredibly frustrating. And doesn't that feel like such a long time ago now? That first game of the season. Lots has happened since then, but the latest team news this time around is that we are still not going to be able to call on Ousmane Dembele or indeed Andreas Christensen. Not quite yet. They're not in the squad list, even despite returning to train with the group, both of them. But Xavi did confirm today that we will see Dembele and likely Christensen against Real Betis on Saturday. That is the confirmed return date, and that is absolutely fantastic news. Really, really excited to see those two back amongst the squad. But I am just wondering right here, guys, looking now at this Rayo game, thinking about what we saw at the weekend against Atleti, that all-important win, what would you change then from that lineup that we saw against Atlético Madrid? Now, one of the enforced changes has to be Sergio Busquets. He is going to be suspended for this game. Now, will Kessie come in to that area? There are some rumours there that Eric could play even in that deeper role, or will we just reshuffle things in midfield, and could Pedri start in that area? De Jong then maybe playing as the deeper player. Gavi there could complete the trio, because you could argue that Ferran in that front line, he should start again. Given that he did score against Atleti, he actually came off still early in that game, so will he start again here? That is very much a possibility. And of course, Rafinha over on the right-hand side. I thought he had a great game against Atleti, so I want to see him once again against Rayo. Lewandowski will, of course, be looking for that elusive goal. But the fact remains right now is that we have 8 games to go in the league season. This is one more of those, and a win here, it takes us that step closer. Every single game that goes by now, if we keep winning, we're going to do it. We are going to achieve our objective, and that's all that we have to do. Find a way, get a goal, make sure you're solid at the back. That's what we've done all season long. And let's hope that once again here, midweek game, we've got to get up for it. We've got to get ready for it now and beat Rayo on Wednesday. So please, guys, do indeed let me know your thoughts in the comments down below there on all of the topics that we have discussed today, from the transfer news there relating to Marcos Alonso, Ferran and Carrasco, and indeed, of course, Lionel Messi. And let me know as well your thoughts ahead of Barca versus Rayo. What team would you line up with, and how are you feeling ahead of this game? I will, of course, see you very soon indeed for all of the reaction and the very latest news as we get it. Thank you indeed for your support. To all of you today for tuning in, I really, really appreciate that, and I'll be back soon. But until next time, as always, Visca El Barça.